Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, hello, welcome. I am Sherrilyn. I'm so glad you found me. If you're not new here, welcome back, you guys. Thank you so much for your friggin' support. Thank you so much for helping me and loving me and supporting me and getting us to our first milestone on this channel, which was 1,000 subscribers. We did that yesterday, and oh my god, I just have to shout out like everybody who was sharing my channel on your guys' social media platforms, whether it was Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or whatever it is that you use, and everybody in the comments who kept stopping into my channel to watch the numbers hit to 1,000. Oh my god, like it was so freaking cute and sweet and amazing to see you guys like supporting me. Anytime I was going on to see if we were getting closer and closer, I'd see comments in there like, oh my god, Sherrilyn, you're almost there. And I was like, you guys, I just freaking love you. So thank you so much for that. I know I say it every video. You know I'm never gonna stop because I love you and I appreciate you. Thank you. I mean, it's road to the button now, baby. As promised last weekend, I said that I would do a Q&A to kind of get to know me. I've got a few goodies here, so hopefully it will make you feel a little bit more connected to me and know a little bit more about me. Okay, let's start with my name. It seems like super simple because it's like right here, but it's not. Dale is actually my middle name, and I am named after my Aunt Dale. My last name is Varelli, which is a last name that my husband and I created together, which was super cool and kind of weird at the same time. So for me, when we got married, I was having a really hard time giving up my last name. I didn't think that I would at all, but when it actually like came down to it and the moment was approaching, like we're gonna get married, and that's been my identity. That's been me for so long. I'm very proud of my last name. It was really hard. So we came up with the idea to create our own. That was really amazing and supportive of him to do also. Because I mean, I'm not a dude, so I don't understand, like the logistics of them changing their last name. But he's so supportive with everything, and we kind of made it a fun thing to look through and combined things that we wanted to make up our last name. We came up with Varelli. My maiden name is Verdun, so similar. It's got a little zing, a little flair to it. But yeah, so for Sherrilyn Dale, which I like to go by on like my socials, it's my middle name. Okay, how old are you? I know that I look like I'm 12. I know I look young, but I will be 34 this year. I had a panic attack on the couch the other day because I was like, oh my god, have I been 34 this whole year? I'm turning 35, but I'm turning 34. I mix it up all the time. I feel like it's like that 30, like between 32 to 35, like you're just in this like weird limbo of like acceptance that you're in your 30s because you still feel like you're in your 20s. I think when I was growing up, at least, I felt like when you're 30, like everything you had together, and that was just not the case for me. So it's been the last few years of growth and feeling more like an adult. What is your star sign? I'm a Virgo, but I kind of fall on a weird cusp. I'm not like directly on a cusp on the date. My birthday is August 24th. Lots of the Leo cutoff date is the 23rd. So I do show some Leo traits. I do primarily show Virgo, but there are some times where like I'll read something Leo and I'm like, oh yeah, that's me a bit. What is your height? I am a little nugget. I am 5'1". I used to lie a lot and say I was 5'2". Not that it was a lie, I just literally thought I was 5'2". And then my mom one day was like, get out of here. I'm 5'2". You're shorter than me. You're 5'1". So we pulled out the measuring tape and my whole life had been a lie. Are you more artistic or a mathematic person? Artistic. Don't even look at me to solve a simple math equation. It can't happen. I'll get flustered. I'll probably have an anxiety attack of sorts. I can't do math to save my life. What's the furthest you've ever been away from home? I think the furthest I've ever been away from home was when we were in, I would have to get on a map and see like which is further, but we did like a little Europe tour. I mean, like that just in general, that's probably the furthest I've ever been away from home. And I don't do the best with traveling. I'm very much a homebody. My anxiety can like definitely take on a world of its own when I'm traveling. I've learned some coping mechanisms that work for me along the way, so I always make sure to bring my pillow so that when, you know, it's bedtime and time to unwind from the day, like I have just like a comfort going to bed. I've even gone so far as to bring my own sheets, not my comforter, but my own sheets. I don't know, that's something about it, just it helps so much. It feels like wherever I'm like setting up shop for a bit, it's home. So that's one trick and coping mechanism that works really well for me. Ativan helps too, but like if you're not into pharmaceuticals, just kind of bringing pieces of home really help. What was your favorite holiday? Oh, see, that's my thing too, is usually when I'm in the moment, it's hard for me to like, I really have to work on being present because again, like I said, my anxiety can just like completely get out of my grasp for me to like reel it back in. But then after, like once I reflect, I'm like, oh my God, like that was actually so much fun. And if I push myself to do things, I always find like I enjoy it. So it's just about, you know, making myself do whatever I'm scared to do. And then, you know, like 99.9% of the time after, I'm like, wow, that was a freaking blast. But I think my favorite holiday was probably my honeymoon with my husband, obviously with my husband. It was probably our honeymoon. We went to the El Dorado Maroma in Mexico, and it's the only like over water bungalow experience that you can have in Mexico. So if you're like me and going somewhere to like the Maldives is a little bit nerve-wracking to travel that far, I do want to go one day for sure. That will happen. But this is a little bit closer, so it's a nice little like stepping stone to get there. And they are so amazing. It's so beautiful. It's such an incredible experience. You are literally treated like royalty, and they're just the nicest, most fabulous people. It was the best experience, the best food. That was probably my favorite holiday. Favorite pizza topping? Probably mushroom. I love mushroom. I'm the kind of person who believes that pineapple doesn't belong on a pizza. And like you're either one or the other. I feel like that. You're either like hardcore ride or die pineapple pizza lover, or you're just don't even look at me with that pizza. And that's me. But if you love it, that's okay. What film do you love the most? Oh my gosh, there's so many. Probably Titanic though. I mean, that's just the greatest movie of all time. I still cry. I've seen it well over 100 times, and that's not even like an exaggeration. I think I went like 14 times in the theater, especially when it hit like a dollar theater. I was there like all the friggin' time after school. Yeah, I would probably say Titanic. I also love 90s movies. I have a really hard time picking like what 90s comedy or like rom-com that I really like, because like everything was just so amazing in the 90s. Like Son-in-Law, Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, House Sitter, Cops and Robersons, My Boyfriend's Back. I don't know if anybody remembers that one, but that one is a disaster and I love it so much. Weekend at Bernie's. I think that's the 80s or maybe early 90s. Pretty Woman. There's just... what a time to be alive it was then. And they don't make them like they used to. So I always watch 90s movies. Favorite TV show, Friends. No questions about it. Greatest show ever to happen, ever will happen. Nothing will ever happen like that again, and that's sad to me. But at least we have reruns, and at least we have DVDs, and at least we have... Well, for Canada, it's still on Netflix, but I think if you're in the States, it's only on HBO Max, I believe. But yeah, we still have it in Canada, but I watch it every single night. Even if I watch a movie before I go to bed or a show, once I'm completely ready to wind down, I put on an episode of Friends. Are you an extrovert or an introvert? I'm definitely introverted. My husband, definitely extroverted. So it's a nice balance because I think he pushes me to just be a little bit more social and a little bit out there. I think when people first meet me, they probably think I'm kind of bitchy or not interested. And that's not the case. I have anxiety and I just like kind of sit there and overanalyze and overthink like, oh, I should say this. Oh no, don't say that, because every time you open your mouth, you're awkward as and that's true. I'm extremely awkward, especially if I don't know somebody. I mean, I definitely come out of my shell and show more of my personality, which is what you see. And I think it's so funny. I had this conversation with someone once. I'm very introverted and I'm very guarded. But for me, like YouTube and expressing myself and entertaining, it's like a passion and a love for me. And it makes not healing myself. I guess it makes me feel like I'm growing and I'm pushing my comforts. I'm working out so many of my issues issues by just connecting with people who also feel the same. Because I know like when you're going through bouts of anxiety or depression or any mental health, you feel so alone, even if you know that you're not. And so sometimes when I say something out loud or I share something with you guys and people respond back in the comments and they let me know that they feel the same and they deal with the exact same thing as I do, it makes me feel like I'm not crazy. I'm not alone. I don't know. It's just a really cool outlet. So I'm getting a little bit more extroverted, I guess, by being vulnerable and sharing things. It's becoming more normal for me. But I mean, I definitely, in my everyday life, I like to do my thing at home. So my husband's a perfect balance for that because he loves to be around people and his friends. And it's made me like appreciate that a lot more. So I'm getting a bit better, but naturally I'm introverted. Can you curl your tongue? I don't think so. I can do like the sideways one. Is that even like a talent? I don't even think I'm doing that right. Yeah, no, can't do it. The last thing that made you cry, I think I cry all the time. And I think it was last night watching this group go through on World of Dance. I literally can't watch any show, especially like those like competition shows, or what is it? America's Got Talent. Oh my gosh. Every single episode, multiple times, my husband will just like look over and I'll be like a disaster. I don't know what it is, especially award shows. Whenever I see somebody like who wins an award and just like that moment, I get so happy for them. I don't know if it's because like I'm obviously a huge empath. Like I take it on. But those moments, I think for me, since I've been little, I've always wanted to like entertain and perform. So there's a piece of me that feels so excited for them because I can only imagine what like that recognition and hard work paying off would feel like. So I kind of internalize it and imagine myself feeling the same. And I know that they just like are so deserving and so excited. So I just start bawling. I can't watch anything. I don't know, I cry all the time, but the last time was last night with World of Dance. Okay, so yeah, this is one of my favorite questions I think I've ever had in my entire life. This is so cool. It comes from my girlfriend, Andy. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. She's so freaking amazing. She just thinks outside of the box and just always does something and just like the most meaningful and thoughtful, just freaking cool way of looking at things. They're just amazing. So this question just like, I'm like, of course, this is an Andy question. It's amazing. So thank you for this one. So it's, tell me about a movie moment in your life, something unexpected that happened and was so surreal or magical, it felt like it could have been scripted for a movie. So I thought about it and I was like, what would that have been? I mean, I wish I could say like it was the first time I saw my husband, but it wasn't. The first time he remembers meeting me, I don't remember meeting him. I do remember meeting him, but our first times like remembering are two different times. So it wasn't that. I'm sorry. I wish it was something like that. I think it was me and a friend of mine at the time were at, I think it was the last football game of the season for our football team, and Vanilla Ice was performing. I think he did the halftime show, and then he was doing one, if you had special passes, he was also doing like a more private concert. So we had tickets to that, so we went there. There wasn't a lot of people initially before he got there, so we ended up getting really close to the stage, and we're like, sweet, we are just like up close and personal, Vanilla. So Vanilla Ice comes out, we were nice and close, and then he starts singing Ice Ice Baby and pulls us on the stage. We got to sing Ice Ice Baby with Vanilla Ice, and then he had this flat of water bottles. If you shook it, it almost had like the effect of carbonation. I don't know how, but like he shook it and then like opened it and then it kind of like flew everywhere. So we got to like soak everybody with these water bottles. That was such a surreal moment. I was like, is this real life right now? We're freaking on stage with Vanilla Ice singing Ice Ice Baby. Oh, what's your pet's name? We have a cat named Khaleesi, who we got like when Game of Thrones was starting, or when I at least was starting to get into it. I didn't bother doing my research and learning how to properly spell Khaleesi, so we spell it wrong. And every time her vet bill comes up, I'm like, they must think I'm such a freaking idiot. Yeah, we have Khaleesi. She's the sweetest freaking cat in the whole entire world. She reminds me of a dog. She waits for us to come home, and then when we do, she greets us. She also has like a nighttime routine with my husband where when he's mixing us a drink, she'll go to the bar sink and he pours a little water in her little dish that sits in the sink so she can have it. And each time he refills a drink, she'll go and join him and have her little drink at the bars. Oh, we just freaking love her so much. She doesn't have a tail. She's a Manx. So for me, it's funny because when I see cats with tails, I think it's weird. And then when people obviously see her, they're like, where's her tail? Did it fall off? Yeah, so she doesn't have a tail. We also have our dog Tank. Oh, Tanko. He's something else. He's a French bulldog, so if you know anything about bulldogs, extremely stubborn. He's just so special. There's so many moments through the day actually where I'm like, are you for real? And then he just does like the most adorable thing ever, kind of like a baby, you know, where you're like, oh my God, I can't take another minute of this. And then you just look at them and you're like, oh my God, you're so freaking adorable. I can't even stop looking at you. So I have a lot of those moments during the day with him. He's just basically like, I'm unchangeable. I'm gonna do shit to piss you off all day and take it or leave it. And he knows we're gonna take it. A few years actually, we thought we were gonna lose him though, so that also makes those moments where you're super frustrated to snap back and you're just, oh, okay, that freaking sucked. He had 2 compressed vertebrae in his spine, and so one day, all of a sudden, his legs went numb, like he was paralyzed on his back 2 legs. We took him to the vet and he told us what he thought it was. It's very common, I guess, in that breed of dog, and also dachshunds because they've got like the shorter legs. So they absorb a lot more impact in their back because their legs are so tiny. So he had 2 of these compressed vertebrae and the surgery was $10,000. So we were trying to raise money through a GoFundMe because with this surgery, you have a very short amount of time to get the surgery done. It's like 48 hours. And even within that 48 hours, the longer it goes on, the chances get slimmer and slimmer of it being a success. So we started a GoFundMe just in an effort to try at least. And I think my husband and I both were just coming to terms of, I don't know how we're going to do this. And it was just, it was so emotional. But by doing the GoFundMe, we met another family who had experienced the same thing, and they recommended going to Saskatchewan, where the top veterinarian school was or is, and they do it for like a substantially cheaper amount of money, less than half of what our quote was, and we were able to get him there and get the surgery done, and it was a success. And so he's still going strong. That was a few years ago, but yeah, we are so thankful for everybody who donated and saved his life, and for meeting that family who was able to tell us about the hospital. So if you're going through something like that, if you're not in like Canada or wherever you are, I'm sure you would have a similar vet university needs to. Everything is just done so proper and structured because you're teaching somebody. So I never would have thought to do something like that, and I'm so glad that we did because it's been a few years and he's doing great, you know, aside from his mood swings. Oh, have you done any cosmetic surgeries? Well, yes, I have. It's not something I'm ashamed of. I had implants for, I think, like 10 years. And then I was just feeling like trash. They were also too big for my frame, which was great when I was younger. I was a big fan then. But as I got older, I was just I'm so over it. I don't care. I was in such a different place, especially in my, early mid-20s. It was a very not good time for me. I don't know. They just kind of reminded me so much of just like such an uncertain, weird time in my life. I was also starting to feel just ill. I mean, I know that breast implant illness, that whole movement, there's a lot of women who have been extremely sick and attribute that to their implants. I don't want to say that I had breast implant illness specifically, I do know that there were a lot of common symptoms that I had, like insane anxiety, a lot of numbness in my arm. I was having trouble staying healthy. I felt like I couldn't even lose weight. It was just, I felt so unhealthy. And even when I was trying to be healthy, I just felt lethargic and gross. I was very swollen all the time. I just looked exhausted always. So I'm sure there could have been some of that. It was almost like a thing in my brain too, where it clicked that it was like, these implants are not supposed to be here. You need to get them out. And I couldn't let it go. So yeah, we took them out last April. I could do a whole video on that. If it's something you want to see, if it's something you might be going through and you want to learn about it and my experience, give me a like so I know that's something you're interested in. Put that in the comments so I can answer any questions for you. I could do a whole video on it. There was so much that happened to my body after the fact that I wasn't prepared for. So yeah, to answer simply, I've had cosmetic surgery and then I've tried to reverse it. I'm not opposed to having anything else done. I always wanted a nose job and now I've just kind of gotten over it. Also interested in a tummy tuck after having a couple kids. There's just things that I can't accomplish with exercise, like the little fold and stuff. I don't know. I think one of the great things about finding somebody who loves you so much, just exactly the way you are, is that those things that I used to focus so much on before meeting my husband, it just seems so like irrelevant and not as important anymore. So it's not something that I obsess over. It's something that I just kind of look at and I'm like, yeah, for me, I'd like to just maybe fix that up. But it's not like I'm like, oh my God, I have to do this so that I'm desirable. And that's a really cool feeling to have. Again, long answer short, yes, I've had cosmetic surgery and there may be a time that I have it again. Favorite swear word. And I use it a lot. It's really hard to edit sometimes because I'm always like, oh, stop saying all the time, Sherrilyn. I'm sure YouTube doesn't always like that. And I don't want to offend people because I know there's a lot of people who just don't like swearing either. If those slip through, I'm sorry. I do try. I think that's a great part to leave off on. My favorite swear word. That was fun, you guys. I hope it brought me a little bit closer to you. Thank you again so much for the support. I was so excited yesterday, and part of, the excitement of crushing a goal was that I wasn't the only one excited for me. And there's so many times where sometimes I feel not deserving of people loving me, and it's hard for me to accept that. And I mean, that again is mental health stuff we got to work on. It's such a weird feeling to know that there are such amazing people out there who love and root for me and support me. It means so much to me, and it's so hard to understand because I wish that I could do more. I wish that I could say more to let you know how much I appreciate you guys. So that's why I'm always, letting you guys know in every video. And if it gets repetitive, I apologize, but I feel like it's so important to let you know that I still love you every day and I want you to know it. Okay, that is it for me today, you guys. I will see you on Wednesday for Wine Wednesday. I hope it's on the Wednesday this time. We did 2 Thursdays in a row. Fuck, fail. Here we go with the F again. We're gonna do it. We'll see you on Wednesday. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It means the world to me. I love and I appreciate you. That's like that 20th time I've told you in this video. So much. I will miss you until then. Stay safe. Love each other. Love yourself. And I will see you soon. Bye.